Hey, Mama Elsa here. Um, I want to tell you about an experience that I had last night. Um, I got to go yesterday to Blanchard, Louisiana Town Hall and sit in with the Blanchard Pickers. And they meet every Monday from 5 till I guess they get tired. Every Monday from 5 till whenever. We left about 7, I think, last night. Um, and it was wonderful, and it was like a spiritual experience. It filled a part of me that I knew was empty, but I had no idea how to feel. Um, and I'm going to give you some backstory now. I sang last night publicly for the first time in 25 years. And that was amazing and healing. And I cried. And I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. I think I was in the wrong key, but it was passable. And I got compliments on my voice. I sang a Little Mountain Church Home, and then I sang a Church in the Vale, or Church in the Wildwood. It's known by multiple names. And I'm going to have to practice more this week and figure out what I'm going to sing. And I got to try to figure out what key I sing. And apparently I sing in the key of E, but that was a little too low for me. So I'm going to have to figure out where I am. And just immense thanks to them for letting me in last night. And there must have been, there were a good 15 musicians, and then there were another 5 or 10 people who just came to hang out. And my beloved Jay came with me, and it was one of the top 5 dates we've ever been on, and it was just magnificent. Just him sitting beside me, and he's reading his book on his phone. He's doing his thing, and of course, being a large woman, I have access problems to seating, so they only had these folding chairs, and I was like, number one, my butt's not going to fit on it, and number two, if I do, I'm going to kill that chair. So we sat on the floor last night, him with his back problems and me with mine, and we sat there, and it was wonderful. I started singing about age 8. Did a play, and somebody said, "Oh, she can sing," and so I did some, church plays or whatever, and did some singing there. And I sang a couple of solos in church at Keachai United Methodist Church, which is a one-room church, and only with organ, and which I was only allowed to sing songs which my grandmother knew. And of course, there was no taped music. There were no instruments other than the organ. Because I grew up very conservatively. Women did not wear pants to church. They only wear skirts or dresses. Unless, of course, you were post-menopause, and then that was different. I watched Daddy turn people away at the door because they were dressed improperly. So we had a song teacher, Miss Wortley, and Miss Wortley was very well known as a vocal coach, and she had been, and she told my parents, she said, she's got one of the finest voices I've ever heard. And this is a woman in her 60s and had been doing this a long time. She said she's got one of the finest voices I've ever heard. If she was trained up a little bit, it would be even better if you bought her, if you could buy her a keyboard so that she could learn what the notes are. And my parents just freaked out. My mother's like we have money for that. And she's like, no, I don't think so. And of course, mom being a narcissist and all that kind of stuff. So my grandmother, who played the organ one of the last times that I sang in church, said, well, you sing like a black woman. You sing like a N-word. And she said, and we just can't have that. You need to change how, you need to change that. So, yeah, humiliation. White girl with soul, right? And, I never sang in that church again. The last time I sang publicly involved a bottle of Boone's Strawberry Farm, and that was before I married Jay. And that was, when God was a child, and we rode pterodactyls to school. So yeah, it was immensely healing last night. And I couldn't sleep the night before, and I practiced all day, and I've been practicing all week, and I'll probably practice again and try to figure out what I'm gonna sing. But there was a lovely lady on fiddle named Liz who helped me, and another gentleman who was in front of me who was playing guitar, and finally the second song, they were like, just focusing on them. And they were a great bunch of musicians, and you could tell they were all at different skill levels, and they were all helping each other, trying to figure out how to do music and play music. And I heard some songs that I knew, and I heard some songs that I didn't know. And so I look forward. I wrote some of them down, so I look forward to learning them this week. And I came home and my brain was like soup. It was just, but I had this experience of just putting my body against the wall and letting the sound waves just come through me, just concuss through me. And it just filled me. It just healed me. And I woke up this morning with a keening, with a knowing, and it was birthright. My biological grandmother on my daddy's side, which would be my paternal grandmother, she was a singer. She sang in church, and she sang in church with her brothers. Something I never met. I had very limited contact with her, and I grew up singing in church and I grew up singing in the kitchen with Mom. So, like a lot of my artistic abilities, even though I don't paint anymore, I still consider myself very autistic and artistic. I don't really know I didn't know where that came from until my biological father told me, and I believe my baby brother sings as well. So, so doing some healing, some real deep healing, and I was so ecstatic. I had to share it with you. And I called Alicia Beth last night and left her message. Well, I left her message last night and told her how excited I was, because I had been looking for a bluegrass group for at least a year, if not 2 years. Part of my learning from my Appalachian studies, and so I'm very happy today, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you're peaceful, and I hope that you're well and healthy, and all those types of things. So I love you, and do good things, and we'll see you soon, okay?